Hey, guess what? We're back. Where have you been? What were you doing? We're live at the Venetian in Las Vegas. I'm David Temple, and I'm here with Fred Giombolini, Meena Barsoum, and Chris Goodson. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You know what? I'm going to go back a couple of years. My very first video that I did for you guys was the CEREC Omnicam. And I remember at that next event, which was here 2 years ago, it was touted as being the biggest game changer in dentistry. Mm-hmm. Is that true? Would you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
More than a yes?
Sounds accurate.
Yeah.
Perfect. Let's talk about the next evolution, specifically CEREC Ortho. Let's start there. You're
Sure.
the head honcho of that.
Yeah, a little bit.
The brainchild.
As CEREC developed and more and more iterations of the software and hardware came in, like Omnicam, we've always been in the restorative dentistry area and moved things into the surgical side a little bit with our implant abilities. But orthodontics, the science of moving teeth from A to B, just kind of always happened without us. And it's a couple of years ago now that the company took a vested interest in joining in on this market and also expanding the level of treatment to our higher end dental customers that are doing a little bit more than others that are doing some ortho in their practice, and offering an ortho solution. And this software marks our first large step into that realm.
What's the most impressive thing for you, Fred?
Well, Invisalign connectivity is the big thing. We just brought that online, and it's being released with this version. And so it's a seamless integration right out of the Omnicam through the internet to the Invisalign website. So it's I think it's a big game changer.
Seamless integration seems to be a phrase that I hear over and over again, and that is true for all aspects of everything that Sirona and CEREC has touched, pretty much, isn't it? Makes it easier, faster, cheaper, more efficient.
Oh, well, on the product development side, we put a lot of focus on that. We've become workflow or product usage aficionados, and if you look at the personnel that Sirona hires nowadays and where our money is invested, a lot of that goes into the user and the patient experience. And in the cases where you have many different pieces of hardware or you have many different treatment methods, in the case of Invisalign with an entirely new company that in the past has had nothing to do with Sirona, we want to be able to pull that together in a way that it feels like one experience for the user. That's very important to us.
Is that actually on your business card, workflow aficionado?
You know, it should be.
Yeah.
And I think there should be a raise in that title as well.
Yeah.
Meena, chime in here.
You know, for me as a clinician, it needs to be efficient. It needs to be seamless. I can't have something interfering with my workflow. So the way it's been designed, it's a couple clicks and your case is there, and you don't have to worry about exporting and importing and doing all these, additional steps. It works. It just works easily.
Do you remember back 27.5 when the Omnicam came out on stage? It was like an Apple event, to borrow that rabid fanaticism, right? How did you feel this year when you saw the suite come out, for instance? I'm just going back to that opening event.
Well, I've never been to an Apple event. I'd kind of like to do it, but it's probably the closest I'll ever come. I mean, even the start of the event was amazing.
Yeah.
The violin player and the rock band, but the suite is just gorgeous. I got to take a little test drive in it. It's really nice.
It's an all-inclusive office, isn't it?
Correct.
Yeah.
And now we can do ortho in that all-inclusive office. So.
And what do you see in the future? I mean, what would the next version of this be? I ask this of people because you guys are visionaries. And that's part of the reason that this works so well hand in hand, because Sirona's visionary. You guys are visionary. Well, jump in.
I mean, I think it just, the software itself now is a great framework. There's a great foundation there that we can build off of, and it can only get better. So more efficient, quicker, faster, easier for the users. It's super easy right now, but imagine if it just gets even easier. I think that's where I think we should be going.
You know, I think the integration with the cone beam is going to be a big thing in the future. Chris can't say anything and I don't know anything, so. But I can see, setting the TMJs in the right position and then doing your orthodontics to match, or when you're, getting your treatment back and making sure that everything is harmonious with your bite and your jaw. So maybe putting those two technologies together would be a really neat thing for me as a clinician.
Well, explain that one step further so I can understand even better.
Okay.
Because you're merging two sciences.
Right. Well, not only does the ortho software do ortho, but it does full mouth scanning. And then from there, you can do anything. You can do sleep appliances, sleep apnea appliances, TMJ appliances, whatever. And then we have our cone beam. I'm sure you've talked to those folks a lot the last couple of days, where we can actually look at the jaw joint, where the discs are, and make sure that those are in the proper position. So if we can marry those two together and do an orthodontic treatment that puts somebody in the harmonious position, it could either get somebody out of pain or keep somebody out of pain. So in a much more predictable way.
Speaking of that, I was fascinated yesterday about the progress that's made in the world of sleep apnea, for instance. And I never associated sleep apnea with dentistry, but now it makes perfect sense as I heard them talking about the evolution of how you can see so much more of that ahead of time.
Well, and you can image it now. So in the Galileos, you can, using CCAT Air, you can see the airway.
Yeah.
And now taking a ortho scan, a full arch ortho scan, you can make your sleep apnea appliance to match that and titrate it so that it's effective. So it's pretty cool.
Okay, so closing comments.
I think going into those forward-looking statements, you're right. I can't say too much about the future, not only because we have to keep some things to ourselves, but also because not every idea that our clinicians or our product managers or our developers have end up being reality. But if you look at the OmniCam, this amazing piece of hardware that we've had the last couple of years now, we've reached a point where it's so fast, the color is so great, it's so small, fits into the mouth so well, and that was used very well and effectively for a couple of years. And now we come with this new software that offers the guided scanning technique that's taking the user by the hand and saying, this is how you move across the arch. And it's only a software change, but in the experience of using the product and getting from A to B, it makes such a huge difference. And I think both our docs here kind of touched on subjects that you can definitely imagine being new iterations of software that just makes your life that much more pleasant.
Yeah, I agree. I'm at a point now where my practice is impression-free, which is awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, newsflash, our patients don't like impressions. So when you can tell them we're going to take a digital scan and it's going to take 5 to 6 minutes and you're done, they love it. So
yeah.
We don't like impressions either, do we?
Yeah, right.
Well, Fred, Meena, Chris, thanks for the time. Always a pleasure to learn more and celebrating 30 years.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
All right. Guys, let's take a little break, and we'll be back with more live from the Venetian here in Vegas right after this.